Alrighty, we're doing a total house renovation here in the country I was born in. We're in the Syracuse, New York area. We're putting in all brand new outlets. They're refinishing all the walls and painting. This is a very nice, maybe about a $300,000 house here in the country I was born in. We use 14 American wire gauge on 15 yips, 12 American wire gauge on 20 yips. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare, the green is the brown. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live on a switch loop or a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. So I'll show you how to swap out some older outlets. We're going to put in all nice brand new ones. So when they have the walls all repainted and finished, you're going to put all nice brand new cover plates on them. Wow, look at the very sloppy work here they did hooking the black wire to the side of the outlet here. I'll just double check, make sure this is off. See, they didn't get the wire under on this plastic here to hold it up, and see how it got out from under the screw head. See, also here it's not under the screw head, so we're going to open these up. And we'll straighten out the loops and we'll make some better connections here. And see how they got the insulation under that screw head there? That's no good either. This is the New Year's Day electrical repair we're doing and upgrading. We're putting in all matching outlets. The white wire always goes on the silver screw, which is the wide slot. The black wire goes on the brass screw, which is the narrow slot. And the bare, the green wire, goes on this green screw. You never put two wires on one screw, you only put one. So you have to pigtail the ground wires. So we'll open up our loops and make them better here. Okay, so now we can start hooking up our connections here. Let's start with our ground wire on the green screw here. It's tight. There's our white wires. Okay, there we go. That's what we want. I'm push this back into our box. Make sure our ground wire stays down here on the bottom and doesn't touch anything. I might put one plaster here behind this to keep it flush with the sheetrock. So this back just a smidgen here. Okay, now we'll get ready to go down to our next one here. Now this one's back a little bit. See, the insulation got pinched under the screw head there. There's some 14, and there's more 14. Wow, there is a very poor connection right there. See how that copper's not even under the screw head there? And that one's around the screw backwards. This is on a 15 amp circuit, so the 14 is okay mixed with the 12. As long as the circuit breaker matches the smallest wire on the circuit. Okay, we'll use these plaster ears to shim out our new outlet. So we're going to look and see what we have in these wire nuts here. See how good of a connection we have. We have red wire nuts. Okay, that's not too terribly bad. But we can make them a little better here. So we'll open up this here. And we could put all of our wires into the pigtail so we don't have as many on the outlet. So we'll just strip all these a little longer here. This is a 12. And this one's a 12. Wow, that broke, so let's strip back some more. Okay, we'll start get our insulation even at the bottom here. Get our third one in here. Get our insulation even at the bottom here like this. And we'll get our fourth one here. Where'd our fourth wire go? Right here. We'll strip it back a little longer. Put our insulation even at the bottom here. Okay, we'll clip them even with the shortest one here. Make sure our insulation goes up into the bottom of the wire nut there. Now I hold the tail so that the wires stay even inside the wire nut here. Fold this back into our box, get them out of our way here. Okay, now we'll get our white wires apart here and we'll see what we have. That's our tail that'll go to the outlet. Open this up and see what we got in here. Wow, that is very uneven. That white wire wasn't even even. See how far behind that was? Let's see if we can get this evened up. The insulation is even on the bottom here. Third one in. Okay. Fourth one in here, get it even here. And strip that a little longer. Get in here so it's all nice and even. Clip them so that they're even on the end here. I'll make sure they're all even here on the very end with the shortest one, like that. We'll hold our tail so it stays even on the end, and just twist it on here. We'll hold our tail to keep it from becoming uneven. And get a nice even twist in here. And our ground wires are all together in a crimp sleeve the way that they're supposed to be. Okay, so now we can hook our outlet up. I'll strip these wires a little longer here. So we're going to use quite a few tails, or not tails, ears here to shim this out because this outlet's going to be loose. So we're going to break these off here. These are the plaster ears. We're going to pipe a 4 on the top, and we'll use these 4 off of this one on the bottom. Okay, we'll close the screws we're not going to be using here. Okay, we'll put our ground wire around the green screw here. Close our loop the direction our screw turns. Somebody left some paper from the Romex in the box, so I just grabbed it and pulled it out. So we're going to remake our white loop here, and we're going to put it around our screw, the direction our screw turns here. Make sure it's nice and tight like we have it here. Bring it around, we'll fold our ground wire so it goes over this way on the bottom. We'll get our black wire and we'll put it on the brass screw. It's a little bit harder making because we're using a used loop to get it closed up properly. Yeah, I'm going to have to strip that a little longer there, because I want to make sure I don't get the insulation under the screw head here. So I'll just take a little bit off there. I'll just tear it off because I don't want to open the loop up again. Okay, I tore it off. Make sure I get the insulation off the back there. There's a little bit from the back, so we got all the insulation off all the way around that wire there. Close our loop the direction our screw turns. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now I can push this back into our box. Okay, we'll put our 4 washers up here on the top. Let's see if that's going to be enough. It looks like it's going to be enough. Okay, now we'll put our 4 on the bottom here. Now, if this was any further back, we would have to put a box extender on here, but it's only like just about a half of an inch, so that's not too bad. It would be nicer if it was flush with the box, but can't always get everything all the time. Screw it down. Yeah, that feels like it's going to be the right height there. And I feel it screwing in tight. I'm just looking to make sure my ground wire is down away from everything. Push it down there. It's out of the way of everything, so it's tight. So now we can go to our next outlet. Okay, now this one we have something really good to see on this one here. Oh, they hooked it up right. The black is on the brass, and the white is on the silver. Well, that one, the wire's not even under the screw head all the way around. You can see how the wire wasn't pinched close around the screw right there. Pull that screw out, make it easier. See how the insulation was, the screw is hitting against the insulation there? You can see that mark right there. So we'll open these loops up. Well, fortunately, they did get the crimp sleeves on the ground wires and all on all of these outlets here. We'll strip these wires a little longer here, so we can get our wires around the screw properly. Now we'll use these ears here from the old outlet to shim this out so it's nice and flush and tight to the wall. We'll try to put maybe 3 up here and 4 down on the bottom. Now, all the plaster ears should get the sheetrock here on the bottom, so up here is where we're going to need the shims. Okay, so first we'll hook our ground wire around the green screw here. Put our weight on the silver colored screw here. Make sure we get a nice solid connection like that here. Okay, so we'll keep our ground wire down here towards the bottom. Now we'll get our 2 black wires over here on our brass screw. You always put your wire around the screw the direction your screw turns. Okay, our insulation's not pinched under our screw head and our ground wire is down away from everything. So we're going to put our shims up here. That's how many we need. Yep, 3 should be enough for this one. And make sure our ground wire is staying down. Okay, the top is tight. We have a nice wide piece here to flatten up against our sheetrock. Now here drawing the box out. It's nice and tight. I'll stick those shims in there anyway just to be sure because I broke the wrong ones off, so I'll stick a few in here. I think just 2 should do it, maybe 3. tighten up nice tight there. Nice and tight on the top. We got it good and solid. So now we'll go to our next one. Okay. Just make sure this is off here. We have a very, very sloppy connection here, so I'll bring the camera down and show you up close. And we'll open up our loops here because we're going to make our wires better. See how the screw head mashed down the insulation right there? You don't want that. Yeah, just make sure our copper is under the screw head all the way around and our insulation's not pinched. And we'll keep our ground wire down here on the bottom. And we'll screw this in. Now we're going to put a couple washers up here on the top because it's back a little bit up here. I'm only putting two. And our sheetrock is close enough, and our plaster here is grab the sheetrock so we don't have to put the washers on the bottom. Tight. Tight. Nice and solid. So now we'll go to our next one. I'll take some ears off of this one for the other one because that one's going to be back a little bit. We'll have to use we'll have to put a box extender on this one here, but I can still hook it up. Wow, look how they got the insulation under the white wire on this one, right there. See how the screw mashes the insulation right there? You don't want that. You always strip with the hole that matches the size wire you're using, so you don't make a weak spot in your wire. Okay. Put our round wire around our green screw here, the direction our screw turns. Make sure your copper's under the screw head all the way around. Okay, make sure our copper is under the screw head all the way around and our insulation's not pinched. Okay, so we'll keep our ground wire going down towards the bottom here. Now we'll do our black wires on the brass screw. Make sure it's nice and tight. This is a Robertson screwdriver. The Phillips screwdrivers, those Robertson screw heads tear up your Phillips screwdrivers. I'm going to make sure we don't get our insulation pinched here. Okay, our insulation is not pinched and it's in good shape. Now we're going to have to push this one in. We're going to have to put a box extender on this one. So I'm not going to push that in all the way. Okay, this is the second to the last one here. Let's see if we find anything sloppy in this one. Now the outlets we're taking out, most of them are good, so we'll save them for somebody else that doesn't really care if they're all matching. Okay, we have pigtails on this one here. Okay, so we have our white on the silver here. Get our ground wire off of the green screw. Okay, so we have pigtails on this one here, so let's see how they did with these wire nuts and pigtails here. Well, we got a lot of bare wire showing behind this one. Let's see how they got the wires together underneath here. They are nowhere near even. So we'll take our pliers here and twist them here. See, that was barely twisted in there. So we'll strip all these wires longer here. Okay, so we'll start with getting our insulation lined up here at the bottom, get our first two started, get our third one in here, get our insulation even at the bottom here, twist it in, bring our fourth one in, get even here. Okay, we'll clip them so they're all even on the end with the shortest one here. Okay, we'll take our wire nut, make sure it grabs all four of our wires here. Now I'll hold my tail so it doesn't move and make the twist uneven at the end of in the bottom of the wire nut. Our insulation is going up into the bottom of the cap where we want it. So there is our white wires. We'll fold them back in, get them out of our way here. Get it back out of our way. Now let's look at our black wires, see how they did with our black wires here. Wow, that wasn't even. See that one there, and that one all the way back there? That's not very even, so that wasn't making a very good connection. So we'll strip all these and do these over too. Okay, so we'll get our insulation even at the bottom here like this. Get our first two started. Bring our third one in. Get our insulation even down here at the bottom. Twist it in so it's all going in evenly here. I'll get our tail wire that's going to go to our outlet. I'll straighten that out here. Get them even at the bottom here. Twist them so they're all even here. Clip them so they're all even on the end here. I see all four of our ends lined up even on the end, and our copper is even at the bottom, and insulation's even at the top. Put our wire nut on here. Make sure insulation goes up into the bottom of the wire nut. So I hold this tail so it doesn't move and become uneven in the twist. So now we can fold this back into our box, get it out of our way back into here. Okay, now we can hook our outlet back up here. So we'll just close the screws that we're not going to be using here. Okay, we'll make our ground loop a little bit better here. Straighten out our white one. We'll redo that one again too. Okay, so bring it around this way. good and tight. That's what we want. I'll strip this tail wire a little bit here. Make a good connection like that. That's what we want right there. Now we can flip it around. Now make sure our ground wire stays on the bottom when we push this in. Make our black wire loop here. Make sure it's nice and tight like that. Our insulation's not pinched. So we're gonna shim this out with some washers here. I'm going to use my pliers to push this ground wire back some here. Okay, we'll put 3, I'll put 4 here on the top. Well, I'm going to use my flathead screwdriver. I don't want to lose those washers. And we'll take, I hate to have to use that thing the rest. Oh, here it is. I'll put some washers here on the bottom. It's lopsided there and back quite a bit. This outlet is all marred up. Nice and tight. The box is loose, but that's the best it's going to be. Now we'll go off to our very, very last outlet. And this is our last outlet of the living room outlets. And this is a end run here. I'll just clip these wires off. They're nice and long, and I'll just restrip nicely and fresh, new. And let's see how they hook that up. They did okay hooking this one up. Okay, so here in the country I was born, and this is our white wire. It's neutral. This is our black wire. This is live. Or if there's a red or a blue wire in place of this black wire, that would also be live. And our bare wire is the ground We'll make a loop here. So this black wire goes on your brass screw, which is the narrow slot, and that's your live one. And we're going to close the screw we're not going to be using. And the white wire goes on your silver colored screw, and that's the wide slot, and that's your neutral. And of course your bare ground wire, if it's green, goes on this green screw. So we'll start hooking this up. There's our ground wire. There's our white wire on the silver screw. That's what we want. We'll make sure it's nice and snug like that. Flip it around. You always put your wire around the screw the direction your screw turns, because if you put it around the screw the opposite direction, when you tighten your screw it will open the loop. When you put it around the screw the direction that the screw turns, it will close your loop and tighten the loop up like you want it to. There we go. That's the most copper you want shown behind the screw. Black is on the brass. So the way we can fold this into the box is we'll go down with our black and white, then we'll go up with our black and white, and then we'll go back down again with our black and white here. And with our ground wire we'll zigzag across the bottom, and we'll keep it down at the bottom here so it stays away from the terminals so you don't get a short. Okay, so I'm going to make sure everything is out of our way. So we have this recessed a little bit here, so we're going to take the ears off of our older outlet. We'll put 3 on the top. Now I'm wondering if our plaster, I don't think our, yeah, see how the plaster ears just barely grab the plaster? So we're going to have to put washers on the bottom too. So we're going to put these here on the top. Then I'm going to go grab some washers off of another outlet that I took out to put on the bottom. See if I can find another one here. So I will just take one off the outlet we're putting in. So I got that one here. I'll just take this one off here. And we'll take back the screw out a little bit here. We'll put one here. And we'll take our other ones. Alrighty. And we'll just screw this in. Now see how it's tightening up flush to the box? And it's going to be nice and solid, so when you plug in and out of it, it doesn't wiggle all over the place. And I'll just look back here, make sure my ground wire is down all the way. All right. It's nice to see the outlets are made here in the country I was born in. That's a nice thing to see. Alrighty, that is how to replace outlets here in the country I was born in a living room. The black wire, in this case here, the black wire is live, the white is the neutral, and the bare wire is the ground. The black wire goes always on the brass screw, which is the narrow slot. The white goes on the silver screw, which is the wider slot. And the bare, the green, in this case it was bare, goes on the green screw, and that's the ground. Peace. Thanks for watching.